Hi, David Erdos back with a new poem. This is a reaction to Laura Kunsberg's documentary on the BBC last night about Reform UK. Reform to ruin. He's halfway to getting ready, he said, in Laura Kunsberg's piece on reform. Did you see it? Walking the fine line drawn by racists and the typical English confusion at why the white cliffs of Dover have been, in what could be their word, defiled. Farage talked about the essence of things and the core root of the problem, as if immigration were a rotten tooth, Starmer smiling and Labour rictus rimmed, duly styled. Not that they've helped with their anti-Semitic / pro-Israel tiptoe. Indeed, the PM's daily stumbles will see the red rug pulled presently, in favour no doubt of the white, and David Bull's camp showbiz shimmer, moving between unfamiliar offices onto doorsteps. This Preener's party seemed as shambolic as Johnson's, shooting away at the public, as if they were royalty-run pheasantry. In conference with links to cancer and the COVID jabs shared, the gargoyles grimoire pulled at people, who also use blackface and knife light as the reasons why they'll elect, from a knee-jerk reaction, a race who would ape former masters, and as with Trump, have no interest in the life you live, but select who will stay and who stew, as they review so-called standards. Out go any European advances, and in comes the shadow of Oswald Mosley and more. Hitler too, or Netanyahu or Trump, for what the fat duck quacks, the frog ribbits. His bass note voice sounds commanding, but if his is a riff, it's song spew. And yet you are hooked wherever you are, who so voted. Because we do not have a solution, you, for novelty's sake, will decide that enough is enough, as intelligence itself is soon shattered in favour of what? Domination. As the cry of "this is what the public wants" crests a tide of distrust and hatred disguised as patriotism refashioned. But patriotism, of course, is a cover for the wounded mouth the word masks. From Russia and Israel to here, and to Donald Trump as head Viking, who would bomb, conquer, pillage, and divide up daughters too. Rape as task. And yet, they are very careful, Reform UK, to only ever speak half the sentence. They want to restore the Eurostar stop in Ashford, but won't that bring more in, easily? And they want it this year to celebrate 30 years of the station, boosting tourism as they do so, before what? Being bundled back on board, sleazily. So are there cunts in Kent whose next fuck will be from a visitor or a neighbour? Reform rallies resemble DTs, full of shakes, of head, heart and mind, as jingoism meets bingo. In the BBC footage, the man with the mic made me quake, as it was none other than Jeremy Kyle, parading the studio steps with the public. He looked whiter of hair and more craven, the ice in his eyes frozen lasers keen to slice and seal up the dead. But then, the English never know how to live. As John Osborne wrote, "Damn you, England." And look at what happened to him. Numbed, neglected, now that we no longer look back in anger, but can see it at our side, or ahead. You voted for Johnson, Thatcher, and all who've maligned you. Don't vote at all. Don't encourage, as Billy Connolly joked years ago. Put this beast of burden back down and walk away. Come to Cornwall. Consult with King Arthur or King Penda before, or the glow that Stonehenge must have stoked, when there are other gods grown amongst us. Slice up this system, if you can call it that, and bestow your faith somewhere else. Or is that naive to imagine? And reform from what? Into pieces, with each one sent to spear us, to reveal the mess we'd make in the mirror, as well as the corpsing and drying that would occur in the show that these dangerous pretenders would stage. I am already selecting friends here with attics, from which I too may write my doomed diary, if the landslide's tectonic is more than avalanche crushing us. Under the rubble and stone, you will find no fresh foundation. You will find yet more separation, from both past and from purpose, as those former rivers of blood fill with pus. Instead of zombies then, xenophobes, as that genre now feels prophetic. But who are the baddies, the desperate dead or those living, and what is theirs to defend? I live in a former Tory borough, now torn by a simple germ, indecision. And yet there is no jab for that. Labour needs it, as do we all. Fate's no friend, and neither is God, as we were just one of the meals she was making. Well, now the taste seems so sour. Not even salt or sugar can save us. So then I ask you, which form of reason or strain of seasoning sweetens ends? There is no answer, I fear. So what we need are more questions, because the people now talking couldn't pin the tail on the donkey. Instead, they'd murder the monkey and set the organ alight. Nothing mends. David Erdos, the 5th of February, 2026.